Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Kent City Council meeting for September 20th, 2022. If you could all rise and join me in the flag salute, please.
Okay. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Kim, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Ralph.
Here.
Council President Boyce.
Here.
Councilmember Fincher.
Here.
Councilmember Kaur.
Here.
Councilmember Larmer. Councilmember Michaud.
Here.
Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
Councilmember Troutner.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Any changes to the agenda this evening? You're going to add an excused absence for Councilmember Larmer? Mm-hmm. We're good with that? Okay, so that would...
Administrator, you got to get on the ball, sir.
Ouch. We'll add an item J, excused absence for Councilmember Larmer. With that addition, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. All right, that brings us down to public communications on the agenda this evening. We do have 4 proclamations. I'm going to do a quick change and move down to the podium, and we'll read the proclamations, and then if you're here this evening to accept the proclamation, if you can come up, we'll have you say a few words, and we'll make sure to do a photo so we can put the good news out on our social media and let everyone know what we're doing proclamations for. I will be back, Council President.
All righty.
All right, the first proclamation we have this evening is for Constitution Week. So it says, whereas September 17th, 2022 marks the 235th anniversary of the adoption and signing of the Constitution of the United States. And whereas the United States Constitution, America's most important document, stands as a testament to the tenacity of Americans throughout history to maintain their liberties, freedoms, and inalienable rights. And whereas in 1955, Daughters of the American Revolution petitioned Congress to set aside September 17th through the 23rd annually to be dedicated to the observance of Constitution Week. The resolution was later adopted by U.S. Congress and signed into public law on August 2nd, 1956 by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Now therefore I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of the City of Kent, do hereby proclaim September 17th through the 23rd, 2022 to be Constitution Week in the City of Kent, and I encourage Kent residents to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution and celebrate the rights and freedoms that we enjoy as the nation, as people of this very proud nation. In celebration and honor of Constitution Week, I'd like to call up Anita Spear from the Lakota chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution to accept the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor Ralph.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Shall I say?
We'll do a quick picture, and then I'd love to have you say a few
Okay.
words.
Yes. There you go. Okay. Thank you, council members and Mayor Ralph. On behalf of the Lakota chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, a member of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, we thank you for recognizing Constitution Week and declaring a proclamation. As you probably already know, the Daughters of the American Revolution are a patriotic society, and we take the Constitution very seriously. The Constitution is the framework for our government, and our government is only as good as our Constitution. We feel it is important that every American have a fundamental understanding and appreciation of the Constitution, so we carry on our most important work of freedom, equality, and the pursuit of happiness. We must appreciate the right and responsibilities that it gives us to ensure the proper governance of our society. It is quite fitting that we take this anniversary of the Constitution to reflect on it and honor this precious document and those who wrote it. Thank you for this proclamation, and thank you for your time. Sit down or just leave?
You can do whichever you would like.
Okay, I'm leaving. Thank you.
So I know this is probably true for several of our council members as well. I received my first copy of the Constitution when I was out doorbelling, and actually from a first-generation immigrant here in the city of Kent who is a business owner, raised his family here, and it's something that I hold very dear. And I think I've seen a copy, that same copy up here on the dais. So proud to be able to honor the Constitution and that week, or this week. All right, no good segue to go from one to the next, so I'm just going to jump in. Our next proclamation is Diaper Need Awareness Week. I'm going to read this proclamation and some facts, and I'll tell you there's some things, as we have done this proclamation year over year, that continue to surprise me, make me sad, and then be grateful for the generosity of our community. So the proclamation says, whereas diaper need, the condition of not having a sufficient supply of clean diapers to keep babies and toddlers clean, dry, and healthy, can adversely affect the health and well-being of babies, toddlers, and their families. And whereas national surveys and research studies report that 1 in 3 families struggle with diaper need, and 48% of families delay changing a diaper to extend the available supply. And whereas infants and toddlers go through 6 to 12 diapers a day during the 2 to 3 years they wear them, and purchasing enough diapers for a baby or toddler to keep them clean, dry, and healthy can consume 14% of a low-wage family's post-tax income. And whereas a daily or weekly supply of diapers is generally an eligibility requirement for babies and toddlers to participate in child care programs and quality early education programs that enable children to thrive and parents to work. And whereas many parents struggling with diaper need report missing an average of 4 days of work each month due to an insufficient supply of diapers, and parents missing work due to diaper need hinders their ability to provide for their families financially, creates workforce problems for small businesses, and hurts the local economy. And whereas without enough diapers, babies and toddlers risk infections and health problems that may require medical attention, resulting in medical costs. Whereas diaper banks such as Westside Baby and Eastside Baby Corner and the staff and volunteers who run them are community leaders and logistic experts who ensure a stable and sustainable supply of basic necessities for members of their communities. Now, therefore, I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim the week of September 24th through October 2nd to be Diaper Need Awareness Week in the City of Kent, and thank the aforementioned diaper banks, their staffs, volunteers, and donors for their service, and encourage residents of Kent to donate generously to diaper banks and diaper drives in support of families struggling with diaper need. So that last piece about donating for diaper drives, I think for the last 2 years, the City of Kent, working with our residents, has, in a friendly competition, collected more diapers, donated more diapers to the cause than all of our neighboring cities. In the first year, I think it was then all of our neighboring cities combined. So want to continue to encourage folks to remember when you're thinking about ways to donate to the community that diapers are a very real need and extremely expensive. With that, I'd like to call up Becky Schroeder, the Director of Programming at Westside Baby, and Jack Edgerton from Eastside Baby Corner to accept the proclamation. Do a quick picture. You Say a few words.
Good evening. My name is Becky Schroeder, and I'm the Director of Programs at Westside Baby. I'm grateful to be here today on behalf of our staff, board, volunteers, and the entire community, including children and families who are experiencing diaper need. In King County, 23% of families experience diaper need, which is why we collaborate with partners like our local government to educate ourselves and each other about the importance of families and young children having the basics they need to be happy, healthy, and resilient. The average cost of diapers has increased 22% since 2018 due to inflation. Interviews with mothers experiencing diaper need revealed that every change brings a mother closer to her last diaper, can invoke anxiety, depression, and doubt about one's parenting abilities. Many mothers worry more about buying diapers than getting groceries or paying rent. Diapers are a need, not a luxury, but the ability to buy ahead, stock up, and not give much thought to running out of diapers certainly is. Out of desperation, caregivers may reuse dirty diapers or resort to paper towels, t-shirts, and plastic bags. These actions can have long-term effects on the health and well-being of families, as studies show that stress from diaper need increases the likelihood of a mother suffering from maternal depression and mental health issues. Westside Baby works with provider partners to supply diapers to families to fill that gap and reduce this stressor. Thank you again, Mayor Ralph, and to all of the council members for shedding light on this gap by supporting diaper need awareness.
Good evening. My name is Jack Edgerton. I'm the Executive Director at Eastside Baby Corner. I am so honored to be with you today, and thank you so much for the proclamation, Mayor Ralph and council members. I notice up on the wall the council goals, and the first one is a thriving city. That has much in common with Eastside Baby Corner in that our mission is to provide children with their basic needs today so they can thrive tomorrow. Diapers, diaper wipes, car seats, all the things that Westside Baby and Eastside Baby Corner provide into our community are essential for a child to thrive and for a family to thrive. During the pandemic, I don't have to tell you, it's been a very difficult time for families, especially families in South King County. And that's why Eastside Baby Corner began a pop-up service for our agency partners at Kent Youth and Family Services right down the road, partnering with Mike Heinisch and his amazing staff. Because of the growth that we've seen in need in our community down here, we've opened our first hub in Kent down the street on Harrison Street at the Alliance Center. So we are happy to be neighbors with you all in serving the Kent community and surrounding communities to make sure that kids have what they need to thrive, families have what they need to reduce stress, and every child is healthy, safe, and happy. Thank you so much.
All right. Our next proclamation is for Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month, known as Mes de Herencia Hispana, did I get close? Okay, I practiced this afternoon, so I'll get one more shot at it. Is celebrated nationwide from September 15th through October 15th each year. The observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover the month at which it is celebrated today. And whereas the day of September 15th is significant because it is the anniversary of the independence for Latin American countries Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. In addition, Mexico and Chile celebrate their independence days on September 16th and 18th, respectively. And whereas the City of Kent looks forward to celebrating Mes de Herencia Hispana. Hispana, okay. I'm going to practice. With the greater community to highlight the rich heritage, arts, histories, food, music, and traditions of all 26 Latin American nations, while recognizing that these nations are not monogamous, and this month celebrates, honors, and pays tribute to all of their contributions to our city and society. And whereas we recognize that Hispanics amount to an estimated 22,000 residents, totaling 16% of the city of Kent, and understand that Hispanics are extremely entrepreneurial and play a vital role in our economy and workforce. And whereas the city of Kent recognizes the significant contributions of all Hispanic residents, city employees, business leaders, and outreach groups that help increase cultural awareness, education, enrichment, nourishment, and community engagement with our residents. It is through their support and community involvement that our city has continued to become a more culturally diverse and welcoming city for everyone. And now, therefore, I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of the City of Kent, do hereby proclaim September 15th to October 15th, 2022 to be Hispanic Heritage Month in Kent, Washington, and call upon our residents to recognize the achievements and contributions Hispanics make to our city and community. With that, I am very pleased to call up Mary Roach from Centro Rendu, who does amazing work here in the city of Kent. Very grateful for your commitment to the city and to all of our residents. I'd love to present this proclamation.
Thank you so much.
So good to see you. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all the council members and Mayor Rolf. Buenas noches to everyone who's here with us and those who are watching from home. Amigos, Kent is my home. And today I'm honored to receive this proclamation on behalf of Centro Rendu and the Hispanic Latino community of Kent, whom we have been serving for the past 9 years. Friends, there are thousands of families in and around the city of Kent that seek the services and support of Centro Rendu every day. From educational services and financial assistance to opportunities to serve our community in meaningful and effective ways. Our mission at Centro Rendu of St. Vincent de Paul is to engage the whole family, including babies who need diapers, young mothers, the elderly, working adults, and young people seeking a place to belong. At St. Vincent de Paul, we serve everyone, no matter the creed, language, or gender identity. At Centro Rendu, all are welcome. We value our partnership and relationship of trust with the city of Kent. Today, as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, Mes de la Herencia Hispana, you did really well, Mayor. I want to recognize the contributions of the many Latinos that have and continue to contribute in significant ways to our economy and to our shared values of hard work, of family, and community. I want to recognize the members of the Latino community watching from home. These hardworking families have found in Centro Rendu a safe harbor, and in the city of Kent, a beacon of hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mira. The amount of work that Centro Rendu does for the community of Kent, you touched on just a few of the things, but it's life-changing. I've had a chance to sit in on some of the youth programming that is done, and it's just amazing the leaders that the organization is building and the support, and I can't say thank you enough. Thank you for being here tonight. All right, our last proclamation is for Childhood Cancer Awareness Week. Whereas it is estimated that 15,950 children and adolescents ages 1 to 19 will be diagnosed with cancer in 2022. Approximately 1 in 285 children will develop cancer before the age of 20, and approximately 47 children are diagnosed with cancer every day in the United States. And whereas, although the 5-year survival rate for childhood cancer has reached 85%, that's a really encouraging number. Nearly 1,600 American children under the age of 19 still die each year from cancer, making it the second most common cause of death in children. And whereas many children who survive cancer will face at least one chronic health condition later on in life, not limited to but including heart, liver, and lung damage, infertility, secondary cancers, and growth deficits. And whereas the causes of childhood cancer are largely unknown and more studies are needed to understand which treatments work best for children, and whereas cancer treatment for children often must differ from traditional adult treatment to take into account children's developmental needs and other factors, including the higher number of types and variances of childhood cancer than adult cancers, and whereas the death rates of children diagnosed with cancer are decreasing thanks to awareness and research of childhood cancers, improvements in treatment, and more children taking part in clinical trials, making continued research and awareness vital to the ongoing fights against this deadly disease. And whereas Kent is a caring community that supports children and families, now therefore I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim September 25th through October 1st, 2022 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Week in Kent, Washington, and encourage residents to join me in reaffirming our commitment to fighting childhood cancer. So I want everybody to think just for a minute. I know that we all know someone, whether it's a family member, a friend, or someone in our community that has been impacted by cancer, and even harder, a child that's been impacted by cancer. And you think about what those families are going through and how much support is needed. And it makes me very, very grateful for organizations like See You Later Foundation, and my friend Brian Williams is here tonight, working to support families. And sometimes it's just letting them get out and do something fun. Going to a game, going away for a weekend, just getting away from that reality of the treatment. I'm extremely proud of the work that See You Later Foundation does to help support families. So I'd like to call up Brian Williams and anyone else that is here tonight that has been impacted by childhood cancer. I'm trying not to.
Not doing a good job at it. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Mayor, for this proclamation. So I'm Brian Williams. I run the See You Later Foundation. We're based out of Auburn, but we serve families in South King and North Pierce County. Our mission statement is to inspire youth and encourage families, and we do that through a family support group called Seeds of Hope. Tons of families that we come across are losing hope. There are a lack of resources, there's a lack of funding, there's a lack of research. These families are always looking for answers to questions that no one seems to have the answer to. We don't have those answers either, but we have hope and encouragement, and we serve families by providing them with some basic needs. Sometimes that's food, sometimes it's car repairs, maybe it's mowing their grass for a while. We like to send them out on fun trips as well. So we'll send them out to a Mariners game or a Sounders game, or we'll connect them with some fun activities that they can do as a family and experience some good memories together. Not all the stories are good, of course. My family, for instance, my cousin died of osteosarcoma, and we get the name See You Later because Scott Benke never wanted to say goodbye. He always said, see you later. So our foundation was named in his honor, that we always say, see you later. You'll never see me or my volunteers saying goodbye to you. We will always say, we will see you later. I appreciate your proclamation. I appreciate your support of this city, and we will continue to help families in crisis for as long as I am around. Thank you.
All right, See You Later Foundation is doing some really amazing work in our community, and I would, if you're looking for a place to support a cause, highly recommend them. I've had a chance. We've got some city family members that have been helped by that organization going through really tough times, and they do an amazing job supporting families and kids. So, all right. Go back up here before I start. All right, we are going to move on to community events. Council President, you have some happy news?
Yes, that was some great proclamation. I mean, that was really well-deserving, so thank you very much. Yes, we do have some news. We have some activities going on at Acesso Showwear Center I'd like to share with you. We have the Christmas cantata, right, on September 29th. Seattle Thunderbird will be opening up their home season on October the 1st. So it'll be nice to go and cheer them on. They had a great season last year, and what I'm hearing, they're going to have a lot of returning stars and hope to repeat as well and win it all. We got the Burner Boy on October 8th. Ticket goes on sale Friday, already on sale. Lamb of God Omen Tour on Monday, October 10th. More Seattle Thunderbird coming on October 11th and the 14th. And we got the Gloria Trevor Divina World Tour, Saturday, October 15th. Disney on Ice, Always a big event, October 26th through the 30th. Tacoma Stars home opener on Saturday, December 10th, and the Garrett Allen Roofless Tour, Friday, January 13th. So that's what's going on at the Showwear Center. So you haven't been to an event there, you should try it. It's a nice venue for taking the family and enjoying yourself. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. October 22nd, Darlingside opens up our Spotlight Series. Tickets are available on our Kent City website, so kentwa.gov, and it's a great way to kick off the season. Check them out.
All right, thank you. And then I will also add in on Saturday, starting at Kent Station in the plaza is the PIC, Pediatric Interim Care Center Walk for Babies. So PIC is a one-of-a-kind facility right here in Kent that works with babies that are born drug addicted. Been doing amazing work in our community for a couple of decades now, and this event, Walk for the Babies, is a 5K to raise money for PIC. So if you've got some free time on Saturday morning, would definitely suggest coming down. Registration opens up at 9 o'clock and the walk starts at 10, and it's just a nice walk around downtown Kent in support of an amazing organization that I am proud to say calls Kent home for the work that they're doing. All right, next item, last item under public communications is our public safety report, and joining us is Chief Padilla.
All right, good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. It's my pleasure to bring you this month's report. And we're going to start with some swearing-ins right out of the gate. You know, we continue to hire. We're seeing numbers steady in the 2 to 3 or 5 at a time we're hiring. And today we have 3 officers and 1 corrections officer to swear in. So Mayor, on the oath, you'll have both titles in there, just a reminder. So I'd like to call up entry-level Officer Daniel Joss, Officer Cassandra Ward, Officer William Geyer, and Corrections Officer Kevin Langlois. You can stand up here, please. All right. Good, we got the order right. That's good. Part 1. Like I said, we have a mixture of our disciplines here, and we'll start with entry-level Officer Daniel Joss. Daniel lived in Kent until he was about 12 years old before his family moved to Maple Valley. And for the audience, we're going far left to right in council reverse order for you guys. Prior to Kent, he graduated, after graduating from high school, he went to work in a machine shop, and he's always had a desire to be a police officer. So it's something he's been pursuing for a while. He chose Kent because he wanted to come back and work for the city that he grew up in and around. He thought that would be a rewarding opportunity to come back and serve here specifically, which I like. We've had several people from Kent come back and serve now in our ranks, so that's awesome. Something interesting about Daniel is that he is the oldest brother of 21 kids. What?
So his parents, over the years, adopted several children. A lot of people are like, wow. I know. And on several occasions rescuing those youth from pretty significant issues and what was going on in their life. So Daniel did very well at the academy. He scored well in several areas, but was exceptionally impressive in his marksmanship. I think missing a perfect score by like 1 shot. So he did very good there. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Officer Daniel Joss. And Daniel, you have family guests here tonight you want to introduce?
Over here is my wife Audrey, my daughter Claire, and those are our parents.
All right. Very good. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. All right. Next up, we have Lateral Officer Cassandra Ward. She's next up there. Cassandra grew up in the Midwest, Nebraska area, and received her undergraduate degree in criminal justice and master's degree in justice administration and crime management. She was in the military, Army Guard for 6 years, and she was a police officer in Nebraska for 10 years, serving in several roles, including Special Victims Unit, detective, field training officer, and other assignments. She moved back to the Pacific Northwest at a time, was looking at the FBI, and took a position with the Everett Police Department for a few months,
And that did not work out, and decided to make a move, and we're happy to say she's now with us.
Good.
So, she has an appreciation for serving a diverse population and working in a demanding and constantly challenging environment. So she picked the right department for that, for sure. Cassandra chose Kent because we are still proactive in crime enforcement, and there's a good police culture within the agency. Something interesting about her is that she is a twin, and her sister lives on the East Coast. And when she's not working, Cassandra is usually outdoors hiking or backpacking or spending as much time as possible with her 7-year-old daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Cassandra Ward.
All right.
Cassandra, did you have anyone in the audience here tonight? Okay. Everyone, you're welcome. Next up, we have Lateral Officer William Geyer. William goes by Bill, and Bill is going to be our first direct appoint lateral hire. If you remember, we've talked about, we went a pretty unconventional route because we're trying to recruit anybody that is going to be value added to our department. And Bill, once he completes his field training, will move over to major crimes. I think we're assigning him to our special victims unit, so he'll go straight there. And when I read his bio, you'll understand why he is eligible for that. He was born in Las Vegas, moved to Pittsburgh, which is why he loves the Pittsburgh Pirates, Steelers, and Penguins. Boo. When he was 13, he and his family moved to Eastern Washington. Bill graduated from Sunnyside High School and went to Washington State University, where he graduated with a criminal justice degree. And he just knew from the word go that the law enforcement was going to be his career. Bill was hired in Yakima in 1985 and worked there 11 years. Bill loved his time in Yakima. He became really interested in working drug enforcement and had the opportunity to be hired by the DEA in 1996. And I remember the 90s in law enforcement. That was a very busy time to be in the DEA. Bill was sent to the Los Angeles Field Division and worked some amazing cases and had great opportunities there. The hard part of the job for him was always that it took time away from his oldest son. He needed to get back to Washington to be closer to him. That is one of the drawbacks with working at the federal agencies. You get moved around the country at their discretion, right? So it's a challenge. In 1999, Bill was hired by the Seattle Police Department and worked patrol in the South Precinct. He was given the opportunity to work Vice in 2005 and worked in the Vice unit for the last 17 years with SPD. Some of the most rewarding time of his career was during that time helping victims of sex trafficking and catching the pimps and traffickers and buyers. That was a full-time job for him. It was during that work that he ran into our detectives. As you remember, we were pretty prevalent in the human trafficking effort, rescuing victims and stopping purchasers. So Bill got a chance to work firsthand and interact with some of our detectives. He said in the spring, Bill made the decision to leave SPD. He was actually given an offer from Yakima PD. He thought he would end up there. At the same time, Commander Grove, if you remember, reached out to Bill and said, hey, we're hiring. We'd like you to come work for us. And we were able to close the deal with him. And he credits that it was his relationships with the Kent officers that made him feel like he knew this was going to be a good place for him. And so it worked out for him, his ability to stay close to his sons in the area. We're very glad to have him. Bill loves all sports, especially baseball, boxing, and NASCAR. He has 2 amazing sons who keep him busy and running. And Bill has a personal mission. His mission statement is that he's carried with him for a long time, and he preaches to his sons. Fight the bad, protect the good, help the hurting. Bill's thankful to be a Kent police officer, and we've given this opportunity, and we've allowed him to continue on his mission. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Bill Geyer. Right. And next up, we have Lateral Corrections Officer Kevin Langlois. He is from Lakewood, Washington, and now lives in Bonnie Lake. He graduated from Lakes High School in Lakewood and did a year at Pierce College. Before KPD, he worked with King County Adult Detention for 18 years as a corrections officer, had multiple assignments there. We asked him why Kent. He chose Kent because he wanted to be a bit closer to home and change things up. and get new experiences. So he looked around, and we were happy to land him. For fun, he enjoys hiking with his dog, Sirius, and going on trips with his friends to exotic places like Hawaii and the United Kingdom. Never been to the United Kingdom. But we are very happy to have him on board. And ladies and gentlemen, Corrections Officer Kevin Langlois. Hi, Mr. Bill, do you have anyone to introduce? No. Okay, and Kevin?
Two of my friends said it's private.
Excellent. Very good, very good. All right, Madam Mayor, will you do the honors, please?
Chief, we might want to tell Officer Gary it may be a good time to jump on the Mariners bandwagon because they're going to have a good year. So.
Obviously, this is one of my favorite parts of the job, getting to welcome new family members, new people coming to help protect our community. So thank you for your dedication to Kent already. I am grateful for that. You could please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the United States of America, the state of Washington, and the city of Kent, that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the state of Washington, and that I will obey the rules and regulations of the Kent Police Department. And that oath is the same for both positions.
Correct. Congratulations.
Congratulations. We have a test we've got to go over, and we have to try and find the right certificate to sign here.
Welcome, Cassandra. Yeah. All right, Daniel. Good to see you. And congratulations.
Good to have you here. I like you singing.
Hey, you got a career already.
Hey, congratulations. What's that?
You've got a long career already. Good. Congratulations.
Welcome. Good to have you.
He's going to be ready for retirement.
Okay, next up, I wanted to take the opportunity to inform the council and our public about some recent promotions. Like I said, we're in lots of transition right now, and promotions come along with that. I do want to note, just of interest, we delayed our recent batch of promotions, some significant, about 6 months of when we would have normally scheduled them. The goal there was to try and maintain staffing in the patrol ranks, and so we just held off and worked with less at the command and sergeant ranks. But we're coming out of that, or we're catching up, and these are some recent promotions I'm very proud of. I'll just go ahead and give the information on them. We won't have them come up here for tonight. First up is on your left in the picture, there's Commander Joshua Bava. You may recognize him from prior city council meetings. I think he's won 25 life-saving medals. He's got the Chief's Award of Exceptional Duty under his belt for his leadership in the region in the illegal street racing realm, and lots of accolades. Very accomplished. and very deserving of this promotion. Josh is a 15-year veteran in law enforcement. His assignments have included patrol, traffic unit, drug recognition expert, field training officer, patrol sergeant, and street racing task force lead. Josh brings a wealth of knowledge and fresh perspective to the command ranks that I'm very much looking forward to. And so it's my pleasure to announce him, and we'll just give him a round of applause and join me in congratulating him. We also had the honor of promoting Joe Makings to the rank of sergeant. He's there up on the right. He should also be a very familiar face to council. If you recall, Joe has been the founder and ongoing organizer of the Battle of the Badge events that we've had in several cities now, and with the firefighters and other mayors, and it's been a great event. And that money, as you remember, the fundraiser goes towards providing help for those that have food insecurities in our community. So that speaks a lot to Joe's heart. He is all about Kent. Kent is his city. He grew up here, and he's served at every rank in the police department, starting off as a police explorer. So he's committed. He's been here for a long time, serving with us for 20 years. And it's just an incredible honor to promote him to the rank of sergeant. He's doing an exceptional job. His assignments, like I said, started off as a police explorer. I had forgotten this, but he was also a parking enforcement officer for us for a time. Then he went on to patrol, explorer, advisor. He's a member of the Civil Disturbance Unit. He's an emergency vehicle operations instructor and field training officer. And yeah, he's out there running the calls, overseeing our service delivery, has that heart to serve. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Sergeant Joe Makings. Then, we'd like to do some life-saving awards. We have two for tonight. I'd like to call up Officer Matt Fisher. Come on up, Matt. I should note that I believe President Boyce is responsible for recruiting Matt Tess, so it was great. Yeah, come stand up here and no, you're okay. Sorry, I should have been go and face the camera there and smile. There you go. There you go. It's all right. So we're very pleased, and I'll get into why what Matt did to earn the life-saving award. But it should be noted he is here with his brand new baby and wife. When was your baby born? Okay, so pretty young, and so he took time out from his leave to come here, and so we could honor him tonight. With that said, here's what happened. Back on June 29th, about 8 o'clock in the morning, Officer Fisher, Lai, and Levi, and Van Orman responded to a verbal domestic incident at the Village Green Apartments. There had been some argument between a female and her adult son, and while speaking with the female in the hallway outside of her apartment, she started complaining of chest pains and collapsed in the hallway. When officers arrived, they discovered that she had no pulse, wasn't breathing, and her lips had turned purple. So she had been out for a little while. Officer Fisher began CPR, and after 2.5 minutes of stringent CPR and chest compressions, the patient regained consciousness, and she survived and is alive today because of his actions. So Officer Fisher is being commended for his quick actions, which result in the patient being able to survive her medical emergency. He exemplifies our department's mission statement of protecting and caring for our people in our community and our values of service and professionalism, along with our vision of improving the lives of our community members. Matt is just an outstanding officer in a lot of ways. He's very active, engaged with our community outreach, our recruiting efforts, and very deserving of this award. So let me present that to you. Thank you, Matt. Next up, I'd like to call up Officer Justin Campbell. And I want to note for everybody, Detective Pribble, she's been assigned to detectives from officers now, responded to an officer-involved shooting incident in Snow Homebush County. You may have seen that on the news. The officers involved with the troopers that were involved in that. Our independent investigation team was called out to do the investigation up there. So she was woken up really early in the morning and worked throughout the day, and so she's getting some much needed rest right now, so she's not here. But that said, we want to recognize her and Officer Campbell, and here's what they did. On June 30th of this year, they were handling a separate call in the area of the 7-Eleven store on West Meeker, unrelated. While doing that, a male approached them and flagged them down and said that there was a male who was unconscious and probably overdosed from fentanyl. The fentanyl overdose, as you know, continues to be a leading cause of death for adults in our country and has become a serious issue. Fortunately for this person, our officers are outfitted with Narcan. And we've been doing that for several years, and we would have seen much more fatalities from fentanyl had we not had Narcan available. Our firefighters have it. It's available publicly, so that's been helping a lot. Officer Campbell and Pribble got there, did not hesitate, got in there, delivered a dose of Narcan, and it did not immediately take effect. They were not able to revive them on the first go. So through their training, they recognized that a second dose was appropriate. They administered a second dose, and fortunately, about 4 minutes into this, the patient regained consciousness and was alert. And that person is alive today because of their efforts. Firefighters also responded and continued medical aid. The male survivor was then transported to Valley Medical Center for additional treatment. Officer Campbell and our Detective Pribble, I've got to fix that, are being commended for their actions, which resulted in the patient recovering from the drug overdose. They exemplify our department's mission for protecting and caring for our people in the community, the value of service, and our vision of improving lives of our community members. Very well deserving of this honor, and so I will present. This award. So on behalf of the city and the department, community, thank you very much for your work. All righty. Well, thank you. That completes my report for this evening. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Kaur.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Chief. I just got a quick question. Where are we on the number of officers now?
So we are currently at, as of today, I want to get this right, 13 openings, close to being less than that. We have several conditional offers in the ballpark of 5. We have hired 26 officers for this year with the goal of being 30, so we're going to hit that goal. And I hope to be back very soon reporting that we are caught up. If the trend continues as it is, we will be caught up.
Thank you.
Great.
Good job. Now, remember, they're not able to take 911 calls for a year. Just so everybody remember that. We hired them, but they still got to get trained.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Congratulations, Commander Bava, Sergeant Makings, Officer Campbell, Fisher on your life-saving awards, and to all of our new officers that we were able to swear in tonight. Thank you so much for choosing Kent and your commitment to Kent every single day. We're grateful.
Yep.
Thanks, Chief. All right, the next item on our agenda is reports. Opportunity for everyone sitting up here on the dais to share about the work that is being done outside of these regular city council meetings, whether it be on regional committees, in presentations, that kind of thing being done to make sure that Kent's voice is represented. So you've all heard the saying, if you're not at the table, then you're what's for dinner. And I am confident in the fact that Kent is at the table all the time, making sure that our residents have the best representation possible. I have a few things to highlight this evening. I'm going to start with a quick report out. Last week, I had the honor of co-presenting with Dr. Charles Patton, who is the program manager for race and equity initiatives at Puget Sound Regional Council. I was there in the position as chair of the Transportation Policy Board. We got to present to the Sacramento Regional Council, so think Puget Sound Regional Council, but in California, about the work that's being done in the region and here in the city of Kent around race and equity. I am really proud to say that that entire group had nothing but wonderful things to say about the work that is being done here, and that we're quite a bit ahead when it comes to this work. And they've asked that we continue to have those conversations as they sort of start on their journey when it comes to race and equity work. So really proud of where Kent is and where we are as a region. And it was nice to be able to share those experiences and stories with our counterparts in Sacramento. I sit on the Regional Policy Council, and at our last meeting, we had a presentation regarding behavioral health in King County. So I think I shared with all of you a few weeks ago about the trip we had, that the chief and I had opportunity to take to Tucson to look at their crisis receiving centers. So King County is in the process of standing up a similar model, and so a presentation at RPC was regarding that, where we're at in the process here in King County. I am the vice chair of SKIP, South King County Housing and Homeless Partnership, and we had a couple of presentations at our last meeting, but the one that was most notable, some work we're doing with a grant from the Department of Commerce to build an affordable housing inventory. So a dashboard that will show the cities in SKIP and what housing stock is in all of the different categories of affordability. So really looking forward to having that tool available, not only to measure current state, but to measure against as we move forward and make sure that our city and our region has stock available that is affordable to all of our residents. Last couple of things. Yesterday, along with Matt Gilbert, our Deputy Director for Economic Development, we had a chance to do a ribbon cutting over here at the new multifamily development on Madison. The thing that's notable about that development is it's the first 4-star built green project in the city of Kent. So the Master Builders Association certifies these built green projects, and there's some really interesting data. I wish I would have taken notes as we were standing there about the I want to say the impact on the environment, but it's the opposite of that, right? Of the reduction of carbon footprint, all of the great things that you can imagine in a project, and that that new development, you can see it from here from City Hall. Like I said, is the first built green 4-star multifamily project in the city of Kent. So it's set a new standard and a new bar, and really is a great addition to all of the things that Kent is doing when it comes to climate and environment. Final report I have this evening is from Skateboard, South County Area Transportation Board. We had several presentations today, including a presentation from WashDOT about complete streets, something that Kent has been doing for a while, but some of the new requirements around that, as well as a presentation from Sound Transit highlighting a variety of things, projects, deadlines, but a lot of conversation around safety and fare enforcement. So Sound Transit has taken a new sort of tack with fare enforcement. They have hired 20 what they call fare ambassadors, and are training them in things like de-escalation, working in stressful situations, and really their goal, their board adopted goals, are about connecting people with services. Their belief is that people are not paying fares because there are some other need. So working on making those connections, and they talked about their warning systems and some of the creative ways that they are working with folks that don't pay fare on the Sounder or the light rail. Final thing, I just want to give a big shout out to all the volunteers that came out on Saturday for both the graffiti paint out that was put together by our local service clubs, Rotary, Kiwanis. I think Councilmember Fincher was out, Councilmember Core, you were out, picking up litter and doing graffiti paint out in the city. It's just It's a sad thing that we have to do it, but it makes me very, very happy that we've got so many committed volunteers here in the city of Kent that are willing to step up and spend a Saturday morning doing that work. So just want to say thank you to everybody that came out and helped make our city look a little prettier on Saturday. With that, I am going to look to my right to our Chief Administrative Officer, Pat Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. A couple of announcements of meetings coming up. We have the special meeting set for the 27th at 5 p.m. for the mayor to present her budget, and that'll be followed by a workshop with the council here. And then on October 5th, we'll have the budget retreat, which is at Green River Community College at Kent Station. That's all day on a Wednesday. One other quick thing is we started the Kent 101 class again last week. Fairly well attended. It was really nice to have people in attendance. The folks who were there were very active, lots of questions. It went kind of late, I think, for the first one. Public Works is up next, and they had a lot of questions about Public Works that we had to defer. So Chad's going to be busy with his group later this week. So it's nice to have that in person. The rest of my report is in the packet, and that's all I have. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Pat. Council President Boyce.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We had our Operation Public Safety meeting this afternoon. A couple of things on the agenda item. One, we took a resolution on allowing community route housing to build middle-income housing in the city. We had a presentation a few weeks ago, so they'll be working closely with our team to look and acquire and build a site in Kent, and this will be affordable housing, middle-income family, multifamily. So, really looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. We also had a report on agreement with PAWS on training. So, we'll be spending some money on training our staff, mainly around emotion intelligence, and then also around effective communication and influences. So, this is about a 12.5 days worth of training that staff will go through in the next couple of months, and this is also open for a council member to go through the training as well too. In addition to that, we are going to be updating our technology for camera inside the jail. We have old technology inside, so we replaced the technology on the outside for the camera a few years ago, and now we'll be doing the inside, so that will happen here pretty soon. In addition to that, we also will be hiring a consultant to help with our 2024 comprehensive plan update. That will be a big task that we have to take on, so I was able to get that through. And Commander O'Reilly talked about additional red light cameras going to be going in within the city. They'll be located at 108 Southeast 208th Street, 116th Avenue Southeast and 240th, Washington Avenue North and Northwest Meeker, and 116th Avenue Southeast and Kangley, and last but not least, 68th Avenue South and South to 28th Street. And yes, these are for safety. I think the data has shown that it have, with the cameras that we have in place, the safety have gone down, right? So what we're trying to do is promote safety. Last but not least, we had a report out from Paula around a state auditor engagement. So that's going to be coming out here, and they'll be looking at our financial fit, and they'll be looking at mainly around our grants over $750K. And then the King County solid waste restructure that was supposed to go in place in January 2023. They put a pause on that to January 2024 to give the cities and the waste community a chance to get ready for that. Other than that, just for SCA, as you know, Deanna Dawson left and became the CEO of AWC, and we're getting very, very close to naming her replacement, probably the next week or so. So I think it's Friday we having a meeting. Are you part of it? Yeah. So that'll be Friday, and looking forward to that. There were some big shoes to fill. Deanna just done a credible job with SCA, and then looking forward to having the next leader take us to the next level. So that's all I have to report on, and I'm going to start to my left with Councilmember Michelle.
Thank you, Council President. I serve on the Human Services Commission, and at our last meeting, we went over the grant funding process, which Council got an update on. But one of the things the Commission talked about was our equity analysis for grant making that was completed in 2021. And one of the things that came out of that that's interesting is that there's going to be a population specific exploration project for Black and Hispanic community members. And some of the goals of that are to get a better understanding of the demographics, a landscape of the African American and Hispanic-led organizations, and their challenges when seeking funding. And some of the activities that will come out of that are a steering committee for each community group, online surveys, focus groups, are going to do some research, and then there's going to be strategies and a plan to address issues and ways to get outside funding. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Michaud. Councilmember Kaur.
Thank you, Council President. I serve on Domestic Violence Initiative Regional Task Force, and at our last meeting, we talked about and sent a letter to King County Council to budget advocates for victims. As I had mentioned at the last couple of meetings, that when there are advocates who are working with the victims, they're more likely to get support. And I serve as the chair for Puget Sound Clean Air Agency Advisory Council, and we're still working on and having conversations about our strategic plan. And I serve as the caucus chair for Growth Management Planning Council, and we will be meeting next Wednesday.
Thank you, Councilmember
That was my
Kaur.
report. Thank you.
Councilmember Troutner.
Thank you, Council President. I am chair of the Economic and Community Development Committee, along with my colleagues, Councilmember Larmer and Councilmember Michaud. We had a meeting last Monday, and we were introduced to our new long-range planning manager, Kristen Holdsworth, and we all got to see her again earlier this evening. She had only been at the city for 12 days, and she gave an excellent presentation on the 2024 Comprehensive Plan update. She has done her homework. She is very smart. She's a great addition to ECDC, and looking forward to working with her. We also heard from our Deputy Director, Matt Gilbert, on the permitting activity, and I think during that presentation, we all learned something. It's not just permits for, building a house or adding on to your house somewhere. It is about all the different projects that we have going on in the city, and it's permitting, and then it's constant communication with our permitting department. So a lot of things going on. Just a reminder that you can watch these presentations online. So if you're interested in seeing what went on, please do go back and take a look at that. I am also vice chair of the Regional Transit Committee, along with King County Councilmember Dave Upthegrove, who actually chairs that. We have not met for the last few months, so I am looking forward to our meeting tomorrow. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Troutner. Councilmember Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. President. So before I begin my reports, I would like to segue into what the mayor had to say about graffiti. A friend of mine had graffiti on his fence, and so the city came by and painted over it. And so he asked me, he says, I'd like to finish painting my fence the same color. Could you find out what color the city used? Well, I did a little investigation, and the paint is all given by either Home Depot or Lowe's. They just mix all the paint together, stir it up, and use that for their covering up the graffiti. So there was no way the poor guy could match that particular color. So I serve on the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority along with our president, Mr. Boyce, and also Councilmember Troutner. And we're just kind of just starting to move into our budget process. And we meet tomorrow night at 5:30 at Station 78. If you need to get in contact with that via Zoom, 253-856-4300. I also serve as chair of the Citizens Advisory Committee, which is like a subcommittee of the RFA. And we had Chief Penwell was our guest speaker, and he was bringing us up to date on the current affairs within the fire department from his standpoint. Very enjoyable. So that is my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Thomas. And last, and of course not least, Councilmember Fincher.
Say the best to last.
Thank you. King Conservation District. I chair that, and we are working on our strategic plans. We used a number of Jamboard exercises working through the different aspects of the strategic plan, so things are looking good. That is our major focus for right now. That was a special meeting. We'll have our next regular meeting next month on, I believe, the 11th, October 11th. Mental Illness Drug and Advisory Committee. That one we will not meet until Thursday of next week. I believe that's the 29th. So no report there. We have Arts Commission. As I mentioned earlier, the Spotlight Series is up and running. Tickets are available on our website. You can call and get those also from the Commons. We also have a new show, a new art show. Remember that we have our own gallery over in Centennial. So there is a new show up, so you can check that out. And we also heard about the artist for the Sound Transit Garage that's going up. So that's really interesting. We also have Public Works. In Public Works, we had a very interesting conversation. I hope whenever you get mail from the city, you're going to open the mail and see what it is. But it's especially interesting that a lot of the mail went out and was not opened. And that mail was telling our residents that there is a great possibility that some streets are going to be narrowed. The reason is for public safety. There is all sorts of science out there that we use, national science and all, but most of our road widths are decided. One of the means that they use is what's necessary for emergency vehicles to be able to get down the roads. And so if a road is not wide enough, you can't have cars parked on both sides of the road and then still fit a huge fire truck down, for instance. And so there are public safety needs that need to be met. And where the mailings out to the houses, and there will be more conversation, but we want people to be aware where those neighborhoods are, what the streets are, and what possibly is to come. Get your comments about that. So just be aware that the city sends out important information to you, so open it up and take a read. That wraps up my reports for this evening. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Frencher. Madam Mayor, that ends our reports.
All right, thank you, Council President. Item number 6 on our agenda is public hearing. We do not have one this evening. Item number 7 is public comment, opportunity for the public to come down and address the council. Kim, do we have anyone signed up?
We do not.
All right. We will move on to the consent calendar, items A through J. This is a compilation of work that the council has done at committee meetings over the last several weeks, had a chance to have presentations and conversation, questions answered, and it's moved out of those committees without any sort of controversy. So with that, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar, items A through J?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 9 is other business. We do not have any this evening, nor do we have any bids or executive session. So that brings us down to the bottom of the agenda. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the council meeting this evening and all the work that you are all doing every single day to make sure that Kent is a great place to be. With that, we are adjourned.
All righty.